Hi, I just woke up, which is why my hair is so messy. Please ignore that. Also, my nose looks very big. That's not a morning thing, it's just how my face is. Let's talk about some video games. The Court of Owls history video that I've been working for Gotham Knights is taking a long time to make, so I thought in the meantime we could have a casual talk about something that I didn't know I needed until I saw it, with one of the most unique names I've ever seen, no less. Sayonara Wild Hearts. No, wait, hold on. That's Hearthstone, The Witcher 3, the Wild Hearts. That's the one. Very good name, guys, definitely. Before we get into the gameplay, the first thing I want to address is the EA of this whole thing. A lot of people are freaking out because EA's name is attached to it. It's their joint project with Koei Tecmo. EA bad, microtransactions, you know the spiel. But an important distinction here is that this isn't EA proper, this is EA Originals. The company is only publishing the game and is doing so under that Originals banner. This is the same EA Originals that brought us Unraveled, A Way Out, Lost in Random, and 2021's Game of the Year, It Takes Two. All very creative games, some even sporting one of the most consumer-friendly programs in the entire gaming space with Friend Pass, where you could just give the game for free to one of your friends if you owned it because they were designed to be played co-op. EA publishes these games and then recoups the cost of their investment, leaving the rest of the profits to the company that made it. That's what they claim at least, but the individual accounts of EA Originals developers do seem to back that up, so I'd argue that EA's name in this case actually gives me more confidence because that means that Koei Tecmo, specifically Omega Force, who are responsible for stuff like Dynasty / Hyrule / Fire Emblem Warriors and Persona 5 Strikers, have been given a very big budget without a lot of creative limitations, and that's resulted in a very promising game by the looks of things. Going through the reveal and gameplay trailer, Wild Hearts basically looks like an action fan's Monster Hunter. Not to say that Monster Hunter doesn't have action, it obviously does, but this seems much more fast-paced. You aren't lugging around swords that are 5 times your size and take 3 minutes to swing once, and I'd wager that there aren't large prep times for fights either. Neither of which are bad things, but I'll be completely honest, it does feel daunting as an outsider to think of the management and prep aspects of Monster Hunter. Weapons in Wild Hearts seem a lot faster, with access to plenty of special moves. There's a sword that we know can become kind of serrated, that'll probably make it more effective against certain enemy types for a while, and that's paired with spins, flaming spins, whips, a hula hoop of blades, and then a few others like a quick slash barrage and a more vertical attack that might be special moves but could also just be regular attacks thrown out at a crazy pace. This is very much a Koei Tecmo game. They don't hold back on the speed and ferocity of your weapons. Once you get in a pocket, you're able to unleash hell. But as you'd expect, beasts are going to try and shake you off and charge at you, and to avoid that you'll need to slip and slide out of the way or use your Karakuri, which we'll talk about in a second because that's maybe my favorite thing they've shown off so far. Other weapons include an umbrella, which I believe these were an even match during war times, and also twin daggers, which indicate that the sword won't even be the fastest weapon available to you, and I'm pretty sure there's more that we haven't seen yet. I'd expect glaives, dual swords, spears, and a few other options at the very least. The game shows off some co-op gameplay as well, although I should clear up that the whole friend pass thing likely won't be applied here. That was a thing that Hazelight Studios directly wanted for A Way Out and It Takes Two. It's not an EA Originals thing, so don't expect it to be offered here. The hog beast that most of the gameplay trailer focuses on is constantly bucking and swishing his tail, jumping, slamming, charging, and I like how constantly active he is. I think sometimes when making larger enemies, there's a tendency to make them very slow. Sometimes they just stand there and take a beating and throw in a small sweep in between, but it never seemed like the player on screen was able to just house themselves beside Pumbaa's sweep behind and hack away. He kept turning around and making things difficult, even in co-op, and that's a really good sign. The person playing even bit the bullet at one point, which honestly couldn't be me. That's embarrassing. You're on live TV, fella. It also seems like the hog enters a phase 2 once his tusk is cut off, appearing more aggressive, and I wonder if this will change depending on where you attack him, if you manage to cut his tusk off at all, etc. Or if this fall here is slightly scripted and you're given a prompt to attack his tuskeel area directly. It grows back in 2 like a Hydra head, and the gang's gotta pull out all the stops to take him down, including a tease at a giant ninja star special which is thrown directly at a bomb here. I'm guessing this move has a massive cooldown and is unique for each weapon type, so using it on a bomb that was gonna go off anyways is kind of a waste, but hey, it looks cool. Alright, I've danced around this Karakuri stuff enough already. This concept from head to toe looks so cool. Essentially, in battle and in the open world, you're able to lay down these simple mechanical devices named after actual structures and machines that have a low density of materials but use physics to their advantage. They have a really elegant and quick building process in the game. It feels like one of those box puzzles, just way more complex. And we've seen a lot of diverse functions in these 2 trailers alone. This helicopter fan serves as a way to soften your descent, doubling in battle as a way to achieve a little extra height while still maintaining control. Then you have this harpoon zipliner, and what's great about this is that it makes Wild Hearts the first Strand type game, which is pretty exciting. These 2 alone are going to have such a huge impact on how you explore the world, and I'm sure there's other tools for traversal as well. Even just this little box that you can jump off of is going to have its usefulness. In combat though is where they really shine, adding a dimension of strategy to the gameplay that's certainly different to the kind of strategizing that Monster Hunter promotes, but again, I think this is more my speed. On the fly, spitting out contraptions left and right, trying to find the right tools to use 1 second, already midway through attacking the beast the next. I want to quickly go through all the Karakuri that we saw in the trailer. I already covered the first 3 that we saw in Traversal. Then there's this taller perch that's probably good for setting up slam attacks or making a daring escape against a wider body. There's this absolutely massive catapult hammer. The construction is so satisfying and creative, and it probably packs a serious punch. I love how in the reveal trailer it just completely dinks this bird in the face. This one's a bit quicker and harder to notice, but you'll see that even the flame effect on your sword comes from a small torch that you build, which basically lights it up. Gotta love the consistency with this whole construction gambit. And on the topic of satisfying construction, can we just talk about this absolutely insane animation for the wall Pumbaa slams into? It just forms around these pillars with a whole ornate design and completely stuns Buddy Boy. I'm really into the clean look of all of these things. I don't know if you could notice. We see another perch which shows off the fact that friends can use your buildings as well as long as they haven't been destroyed by the enemy, and something interesting happens with this big fireworks shooter that I wanted to draw attention to. At first it's just a regular torch like the one that gave you a fire weapon earlier, and stacked on top of it is another torch with the structure then transforming into this firework launcher that stuns the warthog. Similarly, the big wall from before forms outwards from 2 side-by-side pillars that look a lot like this regular perch that's put down at a different point in the fight. So it looks like there won't be a massive weapon wheel with 30 different contraptions all with their own cooldowns. Instead you get the basic building blocks, not sure how many at the moment but likely under 10, and you're able to stack or mix and match them to create more powerful artillery. It's unclear whether those basic components are going to be on cooldown or if you're going to have to go around and actually collect resources and craft them, but either way I think that you're going to unlock more schematics going forward and you'll be able to put a pillar and then a torch on top to make a flamethrower or something. I just assume that you're not going to be limited to just being able to place 2 of the same blocks together. That's not confirmed, but I think there's a good chance that's the case. There's a springboard attachment that can apparently be added to the pillars which gives your jump a bit more zest, and then there's a wooden time bomb and a modification on the harpoon zipline that's sturdier and is used to trap beasts in place. Every single contraption that's been teased looks useful, sleek, and creative, and I think this is something that could really set this game apart. Already it feels like such a unique mechanic, and I can't wait to see everything that's offered in the final game. Fire isn't the only elemental attack also. We see ice arrows in the reveal trailer which go hand in hand with another weapon that'll be usable in the game, a bow and arrow. And most creatures that we've seen also seem elemental in nature. Fire, rock, ice, earth, which I'm sure will dictate what kind of loadout you focus on going into the fight. These beast designs look awesome. They're very detailed and diverse, less in the vein of dinosaurs like Monster Hunter and more just giant evil versions of regular wildlife with a mystical edge. And the last shot of the reveal trailer with the humongous rock creature is a real tease. I'm curious if that's the final boss or if we're gonna actually be consistently hitting closer to that size near the end of the game. Either way, this is another title where you're taking down massive creatures with little more than a blade and a dream, which is something that always spoke to me about Monster Hunter, with the frantic action associated with Koei Tecmo and a wrinkle to the gameplay that's shown a lot of promise. I like how open they're being about the marketing and timeline. They told us about this gameplay reveal a week ago. They're also telling us that a Karakuri specific trailer is coming in November. I also like that the release date is so soon. They really waited to announce this game for a point when they actually were confident in their date. It's about like 4.5 months I think between the reveal trailer and the release date as it currently stands. And honestly, I like the fact that this is associated with EA originals. Not every game out of there has lived up to its potential, but they've all been incredibly creative endeavors that found their audience and delivered on the things they promised. A lot of people are saying that their expectations are low with EA, and like always, I'd say that it's good to keep your expectations in check anyways. Don't pre-order, don't mistake marketing for reality. But this game is giving a lot of good signs. It's got a great concept, it's tackling a surprisingly untapped market for the most part, and the development team has a solid reputation, so I'm feeling pretty good about this one. Let me know what you guys think of it in the comments. Again, I just wanted a shorter video to come out in between this long wait for the Court of Owls video. If you're new here and you enjoyed the video, subscribe, join the Discord, leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.